Next, we start off with the TCP segment format. TCP header, as we can see here, this has been depicted in a nice diagram. Let us count or check the number of bytes of TCP header. Source port address is of 2 bytes. Destination port address is of 2 bytes. Sequence number and acknowledgement number, each of them, they are of 4 byte size. Source port address, for example, we talked about it, say the telnet example, if you recall, say 60,000, that's my source port address. Destination port address was 23, telnet server. Sequence number, we discussed about it a lot. Acknowledgement number, another 4 bytes. Header length, total length of the header, that will be depicted in 4 bits. Reserved 6 bits for future reference. There are 6 control field flags. Window size as it gets advertised by receiver, that is again 2 bytes. Urgent pointer is of 2 bytes. Checksum is of 2 bytes. And there is options for padding also. That's my segment structure of TCP. It has all the required information to transmit data, source and destination port addresses, sequence number, acknowledgement number, size of the header as header lengths, then the flags, window size, urgent pointer and checksum. These are my control fields, 6 of them. Each of them, they can have either a value or a value of 1 or 0. They are flag variables. With urgent URG or urgent pointer is valid. Once this urgent pointer is valid, the other 16-bit which is being depicted here, that comes in 4A. Acknowledgement being put as 1, that depicts that this message is an acknowledgement message. RST is for resetting the connection between the two. We will talk about the connection setup and termination in subsequent slides. Synchronizing and finishing, these are SYN and FIN. They are for creation and the termination of a connection. And PSH is for pushing of data, request for push. So if we move into the connection setup and termination, TCP's connection setup is a 3-way handshaking process. What is it? Let us see. This is my sender, this is my receiver. Please understand, connection setup is the first and the foremost stage of starting of data transmission. How does it happen? Just now we have seen there is a flag variable known as SYN. So first segment which is sent across, that is a blank segment with my SYN flag being set. Sender sends it to the receiver with the SYN flag being set, and it's a blank segment sent across. What is it meaning? It is meaning I am requesting you to let us set up a TCP connection for further data communication. Receiver receives it, receiver sends back an acknowledgement. See here, it was 1200, acknowledgement comes as 1201. Why does it get acknowledged? Because every message in TCP gets acknowledged, we discussed. More importantly, acknowledgement will not get acknowledged. Please understand that. Now, another point, TCP is full duplex in nature. I requested connection, it was acknowledged. That means this path has been created. Sender now can send. Receiver needs to send messages also, isn't it? The replies. So this segment, second segment, now becomes both acknowledgement as well as synchronizing segment. Request for creating the next part of the path, completing my full duplex communication. See here, segment 2 is SYN plus ACK both, another sequence number created, randomly generated non-zero number with an acknowledgement also. So this segment works as an acknowledgement of first one as well as synchronizing request from receiver to sender. I hope that is clear. And now what does sender do? Sender acknowledges it. Sender acknowledges with a sequence number 1201, acknowledgement 4801. Tells me this segment was also a blank segment. That is my 3-way handshaking process for TCP connection setup. How do I terminate? Either through a four-way handshaking. Okay, let me discuss four-way handshaking first, then we will move to three-way handshaking. Now my data transmission is over from the sender side. I want to terminate the connection. What is it? I will send a blank segment with my fin flag being set. What is this fin flag? It is telling me that now I want to terminate the connection. So sequence number say 2500, I am sending the segment 1, finish segment. Receiver receives it, receiver acknowledges. Great. Acknowledges with 2501 because this was blank, it acknowledges. Please understand, this acknowledgement means now sender cannot send any further data to the receiver apart from last one segment. We will see what that segment is. So from the sender to the receiver, my data transmission path is now terminated. After some time, receiver will also complete its own termination or own data transmission. It completes. Then what? It sends another finished segment. Here it is, this example shows that after sending this acknowledgement, receiver did not have anything to send further, right? So it has completed also. Segment 3 has come as finished segment to the sender. Sender sends the last possible message. We talked about it just now, that sender, once this path is cut or terminated, sender can only send the last message. What is it? Acknowledgement message of finished segment received. Once this finish came, this acknowledgement ensures this path is also terminated. Now the query comes, can this four-way handshaking be made three-way handshaking? Yes, why not? Sender sends fin, receiver sends fin plus ACK. So single segment, it requests for both the termination as well as acknowledgement. So basically 2 and 3 can get merged to a single segment. Once that is received, that can get acknowledged also. So my connection setup is a three-way handshaking. My connection termination can be a four-way handshaking or a three-way handshaking, either of the way. Okay. Now let us move to the, if we have understood this connection setup and connection termination, let us move to the next part, state transition diagram. There are two sides, one is my client state, another is my receiver state or server state.